Oh, seems to be two heads in here. We have my sermon on your mound tonight. It's gonna be brief. I know I say it all the time, but god damn it, I'm gonna stick to my word. Hey, good evening, Woo Woo. How are you doing? Happy solar day to you. Well, you're everyone right now, Woo Woo. I might even do a card of the day too, just because I'm that type of guy. Like LL Cool J. You know, I'm that type of guy. Oh. They don't know about that, Woo Woo. They don't know about that. I'm glad. I'm glad you're good. I love hearing that. The only thing I love to hear more is that you're doing great. Hey, Deaconess. Mackie, how are you? Que tu estás, diosa? In my Kanye and train voice. Word. Yeah, I think I'll let people get in here. There's four heads in here. Don't forget to licky on the like. I should have put this over here. It's like really blowing me out right now. It's like flying directly up my nostrils. Estoy bien. ¿Y tú? Ah, muy bien. Mucho gusto. So, yeah. Hey, look, man. Y'all are old enough, okay? Y'all are old enough. I don't want to have to be, I don't want to have to keep chastising like this, okay? You know better. It's like when your parents when they'd have company and you just come in the house and they'd say, you don't just come in the house and not acknowledge the company. Well, the company's the like button, okay? The bottom bitch is always there. She likes her attention. So go ahead and cuddling my bottom bitch, the like button. She's faithful. She's good to you and me. So lick that like button, crack all the way back. Celestial Garden, shout out to you. Sharon Williams. Jimmy Jones. Settle on in, settle on in. I promise this time I ain't keeping you long. Deaconess, I'm going to delegate you to remind me of around 30 to 45 minutes tops. I don't care what we're talking about. Yes, lick that all the way to the back and then crack to crack all the way back. We cover all bases here. Muchas gracias. Appreciate that. Just kind of be like, hey, what time? 9? Yeah, by 9:40. That's cool. That's good. But yeah, we're gonna get started in just a minute. I'm just letting people get up in here. It appears the views keep dropping, and people come in, people don't. I don't know what. I'll give it to about maybe 7, 8 minutes. Right? How's everybody else doing in here today? Happy Sunday. How's everybody doing? I want to hear some good shit. Yeah, be that alarm then. Would you, could you? Oh, I appreciate you. Tremendo. How's everybody Sunday doing? Going. Solar day. Hold on, move this shit for a second. I think I'll also just pick a card too. Where the fuck? Let's see that part. Yeah. Oh, hey, it's not on camera anyway. Okay. Sharon Williams, good. Great. See, that's what I like to hear, Celestial God. I like to hear them greats. Goods is good. Goods is good. You know, I'd rather it be good than not good. I like to hear great. When I hear good, I'm thinking, what else do we need to make it phenomenal? Celestial Garden, I am phantasmic. Fantastic. I'm eating Rocky Road ice cream. There you go. I think you've seen my picture, right? I posted all like the Chips Ahoy, the Snickers, the whatever, and I'm like, down the hatch. I'm gonna kill this bitch. This shit is just like really getting. It's like the smoke is attracted to me. I don't know. Great minds think alike, though. Letitia Strahan. Yeah, I can think of a few ideas with that Rocky Road. We're gonna be Hawking Dog. Exactly. And that's what I had in the picture too. I didn't see. Hey, Prophetess, what's going on? I'm gonna keep this message kind of brief. I know I always say that shit. I always fucking say it. And then we end up talking. We end up getting into we end up conversing. You end up just sucking me in. Just sucking me in. But I'll also be doing, I'll throw a little card out too. I'm not doing card pulls, but I just figured, why not do a card of the day? I think we're going to go Dallas. We're going to go Chinese on. We're going Wuhan on the ass today. I'm not doing Spanish deck today. Just got some ancestral money. That's what I need to get. Thank you, Sharon Williams. Thank you. I have been meaning to get some. I haven't had some in a minute. And I have been meaning to get some. I know what I'm ordering after I get off here. Thank you. I appreciate you. That must be them. Y'all want some money, huh? Y'all want some money, huh? Okay. I hear you loud and direct. We're gonna make it happen. Just see. You know, if y'all can do me a favor too, just send some energy. I'm not gonna show you what the card is yet. I'll talk about the card later. I'm gonna pick one card. Go ahead and just like send your energy in there. Just, you know, send some intention into this deck. All right. Letitia Strong, man. There's nobody here by that name or address. Okay. I don't know if you're behind the times or what, but that's like months and months removed. Just so you know. I mean, I know how it is. People don't really pay attention like to the goings on, and I get it, you know. Yeah, no problem. I don't want this showing up on camera. Oh, that kind of fits in perfect with the damn sermon today. Hey, what's up, Prophecy? Peace. All right, we're going to get into this. So I'm going to read from a particular, I just picked something, like I said. This is going to be fast, brief. Also, this is like the last hour or two. I'm about to pull the page down. If you have not joined the Unfinished Business soul tie obliteration ritual, for those wanting to finally obliterate these particular soul ties that you have acquired that have been holding you back. This is the ritual to get down with. And like I said, I'm about to pull the page shortly after I get up off of here. Okay, so this is it, like the final countdown. This is it, right? Un momento. So the title, let me get my title. The title of this one is One Observer, Many Mirrors. I think that really goes along with the theme of the ritual as well also. Not that I tried to make it that way, it just happens to be that way, you know? So I'm gonna just read something really brief. This was kind of like, I just kind of did some bibliomancy. You know how you open a book, you just kind of like, whatever page you open it to, this is what is probably meant for you, obviously. Do you have your scarf too? Man, what? Shut up! What? Yeah. You don't think I'm over? What? Yeah. This time I feel my energy a little bit more calm. I'm not gonna be getting so far into people's asses. I'm not gonna be busting shots, none of that shit. I'm gonna behave. I'm gonna behave. All right. So let's get down to it, shall we? While we're here. So it goes like this. The nature of reality. Visualize a piece of cotton cloth. What is the cloth made out of? Cotton fibers, of course. This is a piece of cotton cloth. Anyways, okay. So take the piece of cloth and unravel it. And what happens to the cloth? Has it disappeared? What do you have left? Cotton fibers. But the cloth wasn't an illusion, was it? Of course not. It was real. But where is it now? We are left with just a lot of thread, just cotton. Now, we can weave those threads together again, and voila, the cloth reappears. Perhaps we could say the cloth reincarnated. The cloth has its being in the cotton. It manifests out of the cotton and returns back to cotton when it is unwound. Many cloths, but just one cotton. Many beings, one ultimate reality. If you are wearing a gold necklace, do I say, please remove the necklace so I may see the gold? I can't see the gold without seeing the necklace. And I can't see the necklace without seeing the gold. There are multitudes of gold jewelry in the world, but there is only one substance of gold. All the gold jewelry comes from this one substance. The jewelry takes many forms and shapes, but they all arise out of this one substance, gold. The physical world isn't illusion or bad or fallen or Maya. It is woven on the loom of the gods out of spirit itself. So the universe is one. The physical world is not separate from the spirit world. The physical world is like an exquisite Persian carpet, and the spirit is like the threads that make up the carpet. Spirit, then, is the ground of our being. Existence is not derived as such in the limited sense of being the creation of some God. It is the entity itself. The observer is one, and the mirrors are many. The multiplicity of the mirrors does not affect the oneness of reflection in the numerous and different mirrors. Your oneness, you know what I'm saying? So we see then that a tenuous thing this physical world is. And from this understanding, we can draw certain conclusions about how to best cause changes in our physical world. In other words, how to make magic. As the neo-pagan chant goes, we are the weavers, we are the web. And once again, that was out of this book here that I like to, Beyond Duality, the Art of Transcendence. And you see here, positive negative, masculine, feminine, and then the third, unknown. Triangle of manifestation, all up in your ass, okay? I had okay, so I'm just checking some of the comments. Yeah, okay. So yeah, I'm thinking, so I read this and I'm like, I just opened a book and it happened to be like to this part, right? So, excuse me, in thinking of or in considering being that we're winding up, the doors closing for the the unfinished business ritual, like how does that like relate to that? And to think about it, like you can look at that from several different angles, right? I have always said this, I truly believe this. I know this actually. As far as, and a lot of times it's hard to digest, but everybody that does come into your, into your existence, into your reality is somehow, some way, a mirror to you, no matter how. And I know it sounds crazy because sometimes certain things happen and certain people will just come in and it's like, how is that a part of my, and to that I'll say, like, for example, it's especially like for a violent encounter or something like that. That's really a hard one to say, that's very hard to say. It's hard to even wrap your mind to get around, especially like, certain events that happen where it's just like, you know, violent or unfortunate events where just this person just pops out of nowhere. How is this, so however, I do know that we do kind of like map our shit out before we come here. When I say map out, yes, we have room to play, we got room to go explore, but there are certain key points that we're going to need to do or experience, you know, and I like that point there, Deaconess Mackie. I'm gonna put it up here for a second. It says it's all about being an alchemist. And what is an alchemist, right? It's someone who can change or transform, one substance into another, right? The primary substance, of course, being yourself. I mean, that's where alchemy really comes into play at. And as far as the subject of like, soul ties, energetic, etheric cords that could bind people and stop them and hinder them from, their growth, I guess you could say, in whatever way, be that financially, relationship wise, maybe even spiritually, depending. If it gets you going into things that kind of have you wasting your time or into a lot of negative situations and stuff. But who's to say, once again, the alchemists can use anything for their benefit. They can transform anything. Hey, what's up, Frankie Evans? What's going on? But I started thinking about this shit, right? As far as in the terms of relationships goes, okay? As far as like people being mirrors for you, as far as your relationships go, whether you're still in one, whether we're talking about a past one, whether we're talking about familial relationships, okay? Certain family members, we've all asked ourselves the question, why do we have to have, some of us have asked the question, why do I have to have this person as my dad? Or this person is my mom? Or why did I have to be born into this fucking family? Or whatever. Also, then some of you have children too, and sometimes as the child gets older, it can start to become a very tumultuous relationship. And depending, sometimes it can become hell on earth. you know, especially as they reach into adulthood. I know several different situations where, you know, children and parent are funking like they're as if they were strangers or something, you know, but worse. Black Betty, what's going on? But I think a part of the way that you use that, it's like, it doesn't matter what the situation is or the context. What is your mirror showing you? If you was to look around at all the numerous mirrors, right, that you have in your life, called relationships, be that with your parents, um, it may also be a lack thereof of relationships for some. That could be by choice though too. Some people is like, look, I've been surrounded by people. I'm finally by myself. Hallelujah. Shots out of my soul too. Because there's times like that. Some of us need that shit, man. We just need it. It's non-negotiable. You need it. But what are your mirrors telling you? If you find yourself like beefing and funking with a lot of different people in your life, where there's tension, misunderstanding, miscommunications, and not just in one area with one person. It could be here, there, boom, boom, at work, boom. It just keeps going. Like I've said before, what is the common denominator here? Excuse me. Who is in all these different situations? Oh, you or me, depending if we're talking about whatever. So, you know, every one of these mirrors is an opportunity for some alchemy, some of that good old alchemy. Yes, prophetess. Ha shata soto. Yeah. Every one of these incidences or situations. And the most beautiful part is it actually doesn't have to do with the other person. You don't even have, let's say you don't like somebody, right? Maybe you're with them. Maybe you're with them. Maybe you're in a relationship with them, or you're married to them, or you're living with them. Maybe it's at a job. That's common. That's real common, you know. Of course, family. I mean, that's the most common, right? Who doesn't hate them? Some family from time to time, you know. Some mirrors I don't like to look at. That's the shadow work. That's the hardest. Yeah. I would be remiss if I didn't say that's probably the ones we need to look at the most. Kind of like they say the thing you fear doing the most right now is the thing you probably should be doing the most right now, you know, despite your fear. But these mirrors, they can be tricky. They can be tricky. But what I'm saying is each one of them presents an opportunity, you know. It's just that most of us, our human instinct is to just deal with the mirror, you know. Have you know, we just want to deal with it. We don't want to deal with the reflection. The reflection is the etheric part. That's the spiritual part. That's the you know. The mirror is the external objectification of that internal you. Hashatabasuto. Yeah. You hear what I'm saying? You hear me now? Sometimes it does feel like I've been beefing with my mother for years, on and off. We can barely be in the same area for too long without feeling weird. So much alike. Y'all are being mirrors for each other, man. Y'all are being mirrors for each other. But my point again, in a situation like that, and believe me, you don't think Papa Shanguito got his mirrors that he got to deal with too? Of course he does. Of course I do. The moment you think you're just that hot of shit where you just don't have no, like, that's when you gonna find some shit. You gonna someone's gonna find you. Oh really? You think you good now? Okay, how about this? Of course we do. Prophetess Van says, don't we all? Of course we do. As long as you're in this experience. I mean, but I think you can reach a point where, you know, that. Hold on a second. You lasciviousness out there, you just hold on a second, okay? Hold on real quick. I need to plug in to the Holy Spirit. I got the plug this time. Shit. Yeah, we're not going to be bothered by this battery business, by this battery business. Hold on real quick. Where's the shit at? There it is. Stay still. Okay. All right. Okay. We're ready. And you know what? Horseshoes for good luck. Horseshoes for good luck. Where was I? You know I got to talk my shit a little bit. All right. He done ran off the plug. He done ran off on the plug. But yeah, man. I think one of the hardest things is because when you're in it, your emotions make it so fucking hard. You know, and that's not to say, see, it's like there's the surface movie, then there's the other movies underneath it. Like there's always a story within a story within a story. And part of the hardest part is to look past that surface fucking story. The surface story is like the human part, the physicality part, you know? That's one story. Get some level of nirvana. I think we can, man. I mean, I know you can. Because nirvana sometimes isn't the absence of any problems. It's just you don't have no resistance to it. You're able to just allow anything to be. So therefore, even if somebody did have a problem with you and you don't have a problem with them anymore, you don't release your shit. It's all good. It's all good. I mean, nothing here is ever going to be perfect. Nothing here is ever going to be perfect. So it's what we do with it. Now, look, it's funny because I'm about to show you the card of the day. Okay, this is what I just picked out here for today. I usually don't do this during the sermons on the month, okay? But some of you lascivious demons, hallelujah, you need to hear this, okay? This is the Nine of Clubs. Who is this? Taoist King Shu. King Shu. I was gonna go see Shang-Chi today, which is a Shango story, actually. But I guess I'm gonna have to go tomorrow. Taoist King Shu. Okay, but the Nine of Clubs. The Nine of Clubs. In cardology, Nine of Clubs it talks about well, every card has its higher vibration, has its higher octave, has its lower octave. So what's the lower octave, right? Lower octave is negative thinking and pessimism. I know a lot of us suffer from that, or we move in and out of that. We have times when we're less pessimistic, where we're able to be more positive, and then sometimes we move into like these little funks. The pessimism is like having somebody inside your head that's constantly smacking the shit out of you, just beating the shit out of you, you know? And the higher side of the Nine of Clubs, this is how I see it. In cardology, it's called universal consciousness. To me, I'm like, wait, what? Okay, but the way I see it is thinking like God, because you are God. You are the creator. So returning to your rightful way of thinking, okay? Thinking in terms of what you want, of what you desire, of what you choose, as opposed to what you don't want, what you don't desire, what you would choose not to have. And it seems to be instinctual. I think we're trained to think. I mean, we grow up watching everybody else think like this, and it just seems to be this is how you do it. As far as we're like trained to focus on our problems. We're trained to, I mean, you listen to anybody's conversation, they language it to you. You know, they're always, when I talk with clients, I have to keep pulling them back. No, 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 no. I get it. That's what you don't want. But what do you want? You could just rattle all, you could sit here for 15 minutes straight without taking a breath and telling me what you don't want. I want to ask you, what do you really want? That's where the problem is. You know what I'm saying? But anyways, thinking like God and understanding as a God, you have all these mirrors around you. You got all these relationships around you, showing you different dimensions, different things about you, different aspects about you. Some people know you as like a saint. Some people know you as a demon or a devil. You know, you've probably been all points in between. It's crazy when we're asked that. It can be hard. It is hard. It can be very difficult. You know when that really hit me, TV? Somebody asked me, what do you do for fun? What do you like to do for fun? I had to fucking sit and think about this shit. What? Fun? I mean, I do have fun in my work, granted, but you got to have something outside of your work. No matter how much you may love your work or your work is a part of your life or whatever, like there has to be some other shit, dude. Got to be some balance, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, right? TV, profit is best. When you really think about it, like, especially when you don't really have much of an answer. That's when it gets even weirder. You know what I'm saying? You're like, huh? That's when it gets like, you know, it gets interesting. Or when you realize that you really ain't been having too much fun as far as that goes. 30 minutes. Oh, thank you so much. Okay, so I'm gonna give it like 10 more minutes. I'm gonna give it 10 more minutes. I'm looking at the clock. Thank you so much. But anyways, going back to your mirrors though. Okay, and for some of you, I think this is the time and the place. Whether you do it with us or whether you do it on your own, it doesn't matter to me. You know, the point is that you do it, okay? Especially when it comes to these, or when it comes to that relationship. More than likely, that person's not in your, they're still floating around somewhere. They may pop in and out here and there, but they're not like, they're not in your reality. More than likely, you're not with that person. You know. Thank you, prophetess. It's about alchemy, though. And that's funny you said that because I was going to bring that up, tie that in also. So let's get into, before I dip up out of here, let us get into some, let us talk a little bit about some modalities, some how-to, right? I think the hardest thing when it comes to relationship is the emotional part, because the emotions blind your ass, basically. It's what they do. They do this shit to you. Hashata about Salto. You know what I'm saying? They do this. That's what they do. And especially when you're too close to them. The deacon said, we've conditioned ourselves to not think about our needs first. That's true. I've said this one before. It's, you know, people overlook simplicity, man. It's like, it's funny because it's like you say something and you make it more complicated. It's like they may take it like it's better or something, but they won't do it because it's too complicated. Then if you give them something very simple yet effective, sometimes they're fooled by the simplicity of it. Whatever. If you don't do nothing, whether you do it all, I don't care. Like I can't control that part. But I can tell you one thing. If you write down a list right now of the top 4 or 5 relationships, maybe you don't have that many that are bad or that you have a problem in, okay? But if you are in that situation where it just seems like it's you against the world, why don't you list down your top 3 situations, all right? Could be an ex, one could be family, you know, whatever it is. And then what you want to do is you want to say, okay, so what would you say the problem is? Okay, and this is not a time to, well, they want to do this and they want to do it. No. Just be like, it could be something like miscommunication. We just don't seem to understand each other. Try and be as impartial as you can. I mean, I guess if you want to, you can say, well, they're a dick. They're a bitch. Even if you say that, though. Now's the time to use them as the mirror. Because then you say, okay, where am I being a dick and a bitch at? Like, where am I even being a dick and a bitch to myself? You'd be so surprised that what you do to yourself is directly done to you by somebody else. I promise you. I promise you. It's crazy. And it is almost, it's like magical, damn near. Okay? If you start being more giving to yourself, you're going to find that, like, the world starts being more giving to you. You know what I'm saying? The mere fact that you're trying to understand yourself more, therefore you're giving yourself understand. Okay, so you didn't do XYZ yesterday like we said we were going to do. Okay, but this is what we're going to do tomorrow. And, you know, you take the time to understand yourself. You might notice every time I go to do this, something will come up to trip me up. It's always on the inside too. It's some type of process that kicks in. You know, maybe it's about, like, I don't know, keeping some type of commitment to yourself. So yes, the mirror. But I call it the mirror because it literally is a fucking mirror. It really is. It really, really is a mirror. So if you can start, like, being the detective and kind of going through your relationships, I guarantee you, whatever you find there, you're going to find in here. I promise you. I promise you. Or you're going to find, like, the polar opposite. Like, you know, like a mirror. Like, if you have something written on your clothes, in the mirror, it's going to look backwards. You know, it's going to be the same thing. No, and now we've got to relearn 90% of that shit. For real. But I promise you, if you would just be open with yourself, you're going to find it. That is the beginning and the most simplistic. Alchemy does not have to be this difficult thing. It doesn't have to be that way. It can be as simple as that. As literally saying, okay, let's suppose that whatever's going on inside of me is being reflected back to me through the people in my life. I'm going to start with you. So what is my problem over here? Or what do I feel that my problem is over here? You know, or what am I experiencing? You can also look at it that way. They're not respecting me. Let's just say, right? hypothetically. Okay. So, and I know this is the hardest part. I'm telling you right now, I'm prepping your ass right now, because sometimes with these people, the hardest part is going to be the feelings that you have towards this person personally. But you must be able to move past that. And sometimes I know, because that's hard for me too. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's hard for me to move past certain shit sometimes. I get it. And I'm not saying you got to be all buddy buddy with the person either, because that's not, you don't have, it doesn't even require that other person. This is all a you job. This is an inside job. This is all about you. This has nothing to do, really, technically, with them. If you want to be, if you want to be honest, it don't even have to do with them. They're just doing their job. They're just doing their job, reflecting. I had to realize that sometimes I question certain blessings because subconsciously I thought I didn't deserve them. That's a common one, actually. I think most of us have been conditioned with some form of that. Unless you grew up in a perfect family on some fucking island and everybody was like perfect, you have something to that. What's up, Birdie? But that is like one of the most simplistic ways that you start using. Use these people, man. Use them. Maybe they got a problem with you. Maybe it's the problem goes both ways. Maybe you are being a problem to them in their opinion, and they're a problem to you in your opinion. You know, kind of move past the story, get to the brass tacks of things. See what the theme is. You want to look at themes. What is the theme here? I'm going to give you some examples. A theme might be, I'm always doing for them and they're never doing for me. Or they have a problem with me because they feel I'm not doing for them, but they're always doing for me. You know? What is the theme? I guarantee you one's probably going to be miscommunication. Somewhere in there. Theme. Phone issues. Anyways, if you do that, I promise you, you're going to start to see things move around real quick. This doesn't even mean, let me say something else too. This don't mean you got to be cool with them on the outside in the physical world, okay? You can just move on, okay? But you don't have to hate them. Whatever they may feel for you, that's on them. It's none of your business, actually. Yeah, I just want you to know that, because some people get caught up in that. Well, they get caught up in this thing like, okay, well, I'm letting somebody off the hook. I'm basically saying it's okay that they did such and such to me. No, that's not what you're doing at all. You know, you're just clearing up your end of the shit. You're using it instead of being hindered by it finally. Because that's all it's going to do is hinder you and block you up, you know? You're going to be constipated. But anyways, that's thinking like a god. That's thinking like a god. That's taking ownership of your reality, because a god knows that, like, or goddess knows, like, in some form or fashion, everything I see in my reality is a result of me in some form or fashion. Miscommunication does seem to be a common issue, and it seems to be due to personal triggers that have nothing to do with the present situation. Once again, all right, Deaconess. So I'm gonna get up out of here. But let me just say something to that, TV. What did I say earlier? I said emotions are like this, right? Triggers. There you go. You know what I'm saying? That's why you gotta disarm the triggers. At least disarm your own triggers. You know, you disarm them by, there's several different ways. A lot of different ways. You know, but one way is also just blatantly understanding your triggers. See, what gives your triggers so much power is that most of them are unconscious. So something happens, you hear something, you see something, you think something, whatever. And next thing you know, you're feeling that way. You know what I'm saying? And there's like, it's as if you have no control over it, you know? But when you start to understand your own bullshit, your own triggers, you know, literally you take them from the unconscious and you bring them into the conscious. So now it's like, now you can start doing something about it. You know, as long as it's in the unknown, as long as it's in your unconscious, you cannot do anything about it. You're going to be ran by that shit. That's why they're saying, like, you think you're over here living your life, making decisions. Shit, most of the decisions you make are unconscious. You're not even aware of them. You're only aware of like this much. So who's in control? But as I did say, thank you, Deaconess. I appreciate your reminder and showing me that I need to get the hell up out of here. So this has been, just like I said, a brief sermon on your mound. Okay, take this with you. Don't be a slave to the emotions that have happened because of certain relationships. Use them, eat that shit, digest it, integrate it. You know what I'm saying? Use it for your benefit. Use it for your growth. All right. Don't let yourself be held back like that. Don't you do that. Everybody we meet can't be the problem. It cannot be everybody else. If it's everybody else, you are looking in the wrong place, you know? So take that with you, acknowledging them. Yeah, that's part of bringing them to the forefront. You know, that word goes in there too. Like acknowledge, you have to acknowledge them in order to see them, you know? To accept them, to stop resisting the shit, you know? Because these things will run you raggedy. Some decisions, most decisions are, a lot of them, you'd be surprised. You think it's you, but it's a program you have that's actually making it. They've hooked shit up to your brain or to the people's brains and shit. And it's like 5 to 7 seconds before the person actually consciously became aware of making the decision, they already made the decision. We are very easily programmable. You'd be shocked. You'd be shocked. So start disarming them triggers. Go through the field of your mind and start disarming some of these landmines that you got, okay? Because people like to set those things off, okay? Play detective. Do your autopsies on your past or whatever relationship may have been that's really affecting you, that could be still affecting you now, even though that person ain't around you. You know what I'm saying? You owe it to yourself. And that's the only way you're going to be free of this shit. That's the only way you can really, you know, like transcend out of this space to the next. So anyways, I'm up out of here. Have a happy Sunday. Enjoy yourself. I hope it's been a relaxing weekend. Actually, for some of y'all, the weekend's going to continue tomorrow. It's Labor Day. A lot of people are off. Some people aren't. Hope you have a good, you know, holiday. If you are staying home, barbecuing, doing whatever, maybe you're gonna go out and get your freak on or something like that. I don't know. Whatever you're gonna do. But good night to everybody here. Much love to everybody here. Everybody watching. Peace.